This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I am here with Mob's Marketing. Since 2007, this full-service agency has providing web visibility with smart and cost-effective solutions for you. I'm here with both partners, Jim and Brian. Thanks, guys, for joining us here today. Let's start off, first of all, a little bit. A group of guys get together, media professionals, all with the same passion in mind. Share with me a little bit how this all got started, Jim.
Well, we actually started, we met at the Denver newspaper agency, Brian and I, and as we watched that industry kind of start to deteriorate, we decided that when we saw all the dollars going into the internet, we realized that we could actually start our own agency, take our experience, our contacts, and really help our customer base in a totally different way to lower their media costs and actually improve the ROI of any dollars that they spend in the marketing space.
Fantastic. Let me ask you, Brian, when you pretty much met up, did you realize that your talents coming together were pretty powerful when combined?
Yeah, I think that was one of the goals that we had, which was to kind of match our own skill sets together and really provide that service to our customers, which are pretty much small to mid-sized businesses here in Colorado.
Excellent. I understand the percentage is as high as 70% of the public out there is using the internet when it comes to shopping, not only for services but for products. So if you're really not engaging these people, I imagine you're losing out on a pretty big chunk of business. Is that right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's growing more and more, and mobile search has become over 50%. Everybody has a smartphone in their pockets right now, so you have to be digitally aware and also reach beyond that, because traditional advertising does still have a place in this space.
Fantastic. I mean, no longer can a company just focus on one area. You really need a marketing strategy, making sure that you're pretty much hitting across the bases. Is that what you found?
Yeah, we did, and I think that one of the things that we do a little bit differently here is we were kind of born out of digital, and we did most of our everything within the internet marketing, again from an underserved market in the digital space with small to mid-sized businesses. Throughout that, we do know traditional media fairly well. And what we're really trying to do is combine the both. And typically agencies in this space have either started in digital or they started in traditional. Well, we're really we started in digital, and we're bringing up and complementing that with some of the traditional media that, as Jim said, still has a big place in the market.
Excellent. Let me ask you this. Before the ideas start flowing and before the databases are built, I mean, is it really important to sit down and really customize your approach with each company out there? Make sure you put a strategy together for them? And is that what takes place at a consultation?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we have clients very small and very large, and not everybody has the exact same size budget. So we really have to fine-tune everything based on what their needs are, who their target market is, and ultimately what they want to do.
Speaking of target market, how important is a target market analysis? How important is the SEO analysis? Are these great tools as a starting point to find out kind of where they're at?
Yeah, I think data is a big catalyst for making sound decisions on your marketing and advertising. You know, there are, in the old days, I should say, there was a lot of assumptions being made. Now we can use data as a tool to really hit our target audience and really make decisions almost in real time and optimize and pivot if we need to, or reward things that are working.
Wonderful. Thinking of things that are working. Once you get the SEO in place, you got eyeballs looking at the website there. Do a lot of people make the mistake of not having good quality content on that site now that we've got the eyes on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Google always says that content is king. So if you actually want to, one of the best things you can do to enhance your conversion of any visitor to your site is to have good engaging content, a good clear call to action on the homepage as well, and a way to actually measure that, whether it's through forms or call tracking, because it's not just once they come to the site, it's actually what happens after that, because clients don't put clicks in the bank, they put dollars in the bank, and we need to get their phones to ring and we need to get their inboxes filled with leads.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, a lot of businesses out there, they obtain their clients, then they're pretty well busy take care of their clients or their customers. How can you help them kind of alleviate that problem of time as far as gaining new customers out there?
That's a good question, and I think that, as a small business owner here in the metro area, they spend a lot of time wearing a lot of different hats, whether they're doing finance, whether they're doing marketing, and they also have to do customer service. One of the things that we do, since we are a small business ourselves, and we have a lot of clients, we've already navigated through all of the different media options. So we really take that off their plate for us to really execute, develop strategy for them so that they don't have to necessarily worry about from a marketing and advertising perspective. We save them a lot of time, we save them a lot of money, and in that investment we actually make them a lot of money in return. And that's really critical for small businesses, so they don't have to worry about that, and they can carve out other times with their financing their employees, growing their business in other areas.
So regardless of what area they want to focus on, you guys have really become experts in the fundamentals of the marketing, so you can utilize and go in that direction that they need.
Correct, and I think we make it easier for them because we give everything, from a reporting standpoint and from an ROI standpoint. We really just wrap everything up and show them, the results that we're doing, and really that's our report card. So when they're investing money into us, we're reinvesting that into the marketplace to drive them new business.
I myself, as a business owner, I think it's important to bring in an outside agency such as yourself when it comes to making sure my site's out on the line. For the simple fact, it seems like the search engines are always changing the rules. I mean, really, as a professional, do you guys have to keep apprised of the best way to make sure these websites are friendly?
Yeah, of course. I think that that's something that we always are, we're always looking at. You need to. But for the most part, what we're doing is we're not doing anything kind of off page, if you will. We're doing everything that's, I would say, it's very blocking and tackling, basically. For the most part, we're really doing is following the rules with that, and we're not trying to trick the system. A lot of small other agencies or a lot of folks that you might get offshore or wherever, they're going to try to trick the system and try to figure out what Google's doing and try to reward themselves. Well, Google and the search engines that are out there, they're pretty sophisticated. So as long as you're doing the right thing and being a good digital citizen, updating your content, it makes your job a lot easier, and you're not going to get punished for trying to trick the system, if you will.
An absolute white hat approach you're taking there.
Correct.
Wonderful. Obviously, SEO, organic hits, those are something you guys can help with folks out there. What about pay-per-click campaigns? Are those successful for you?
Absolutely. We do, when you look at just search, you can actually control the message when it comes to pay-per-click so much better than organic. If you have a specific widget that you need to sell, I can drive exactly to a landing page that's specifically built to improve and enhance the conversion of that particular widget. So from the research to the ad building all the way to the visitor coming to the site, and then what happens after that. All of that is important when you build a pay-per-click campaign, and again, measuring the success of every dollar that a client gives.
Absolutely, a full-service agency is what is required there. I mean, we spoke a lot about the search engines out there, but quite honestly, when it comes to engaging the public, social media is a big deal. Share with me what you guys are offering as with Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, we have a service for social media, which is really going to be, again, around what the client's needs are, and really a lot of that is just engaging, potential customers, getting them into, sharing their experience, and really being out in front of them. All the social media platforms, the Facebooks and the Twitters of the world, they have a huge audience, and you can really carve those up into getting very specific, getting your message out to that very specific audience at a very critical time.
Interesting. Let me ask you this. Obviously, I see a lot of blogs out there, and people are really going back and forth on those. Is that a good avenue to go with? What is the difference between an internal blog versus that of an external, and how do those differ?
Sure. Again, going back to content being king, you can really share that you are a content expert in your field by having an internal blog, a blog that's actually on your website. An external blog would be a blog that you have off-site, which you would then link back to your website. So both of them are beneficial. When it comes to the web, everything kind of interoperates. So when you have something external and internal and they're linking back and forth, all of that's ultimately going to help you. And to what Brian said, being a good internet citizen is what you get rewarded for. So sharing your expertise through a blog is a great way to actually differentiate yourself out there.
Excellent. Brian, you had mentioned before that you're really combining the old with the new. A lot of folks would say today that traditional media, that of television, radio, print, it's losing its grip, yet you're talking about really a complement of the two, digital as well as traditional.
Yeah, we're still seeing impact, obviously, because traditional media is evolving and changing in very different ways. From radio to television to even from newsprint, and with everything being a lot more wired, you're on the internet, no matter whether it's on your phone, at home. You're consuming media all day, but they still have an audience, and they still can complement each other, and they can still drive brand, and they can still drive results. And then using that real-time data from the interactive standpoint, internet standpoint, you can really make those decisions to again reward things that are the behavior that's working for your customers.
Fantastic. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you can take a little closer look at this agency. We're talking about 30-plus years of collective really information here for you. We've got guys that have been educated in this. They have a passion. They came together in 2007 deciding that basically they seen what the internet was all about. We're talking about the web. It's not it's not named the web for no reason. There's a lot of different pieces to it as well. Let me ask you, Jim, you discussed a little bit about content is king. And so regardless of how you're getting the eyeballs to the website, if somebody really needed a revamping on their site all in general, are you able to provide that? I mean, do you have website design right here under house?
Yes, we do. A lot of our clients have had a website built by a friend, family member, or purchased it from somebody else, and that may have been 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. Well, design things change, how people use their websites change. So that's one of the first things we always talk about when we're talking about building a strategy for somebody is, do you have a website that users find engaging and that is there to convert their into ultimately the behavior you want, which is call me, email me.
One of the things I notice is a lot of folks put a lot of effort and a lot of resources in gaining that customer. But, I mean, you guys believe in not only gaining the customer, but keeping the customer after you've actually gotten them. Share with me your loyalty program and how that is able to help them.
Well, keeping a customer is a lot cheaper than it is to go out and find new customers. So when we try to develop a database, depending on what the goals and objectives are for our clients, and once we get them in there, whether it's driving them through social media, getting an email address that we can remarket to them down the road. We can also do from a media perspective. We can remarket to these folks through a custom database, or we can buy around specific demographics and profiles of potential customers. So from a loyalty perspective, we really want to try to get those folks that we've engaged with at first, and then reward them to come back.
Excellent. And regardless of the size, like you said, Jim, you have all different types of clients out there. But either way, you're really a small boutique firm that is able to be flexible enough to adapt to what their needs are.
Yeah, I jokingly say that we're kind of a blue-collar boutique firm. A lot of folks don't have a lot of money to put into their marketing plan, or that's money that they would be using to put food on the table for their families. So, we really try and take the needs of our clients, and we really take them to heart when we're building any of these campaigns, because we know every dollar that they put into their campaign is critical to the success of their businesses.
Fantastic. Last time, viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their website. Also, their contact information is right there. Basically, it's as easy as setting up a consultation with either one of the guys down here. They're going to walk you through their program, make sure that they're looking at your site, understanding who your target market is, and basically walking you through each step to make sure that you're utilizing the web out there in its fullest form. On the website, you can also see some great resources for you. You can also take a list of the clients that they've worked with in the past. Once again, that is Mob's Marketing since 2007, located right here in Denver, Colorado. This is Gary Atencia with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.